Dr. Michael Rechtenwald. He's a professor at NYU, the author of a book called Springtime for Snowflakes, Social Justice and Its Postmodern Parentage. He calls it an academic memoir, but it's really not the kind of memoir that I think anybody who knew him or knows him would have expected him to write. You see, Dr. Rechtenwald used to be a Marxist. I mean, a pretty serious guy. He was thoroughly entrenched in the left, in the world of academia. He used to write white papers for communists. But unlike most of his colleagues, he still questioned things. He questioned with boldness. And when he did recently, his questions uncovered some pretty dark corners of the cozy college campus world. So, what is it that fuels the ideology that now reigns over so many universities, like a religious order? What caused Rechtenwald to seek a different path, especially when everyone else around him kowtowed to the ideological pressure? Well, it all starts with a Facebook post, a Twitter account, and the dangers of wrong thinking.
You're a professor of
global liberal studies.
Okay.
Basically anything I want to teach is what that means.
What a gig.
Yeah, it's a nice gig.
Yeah.
I teach my own textbook, for example. It's called Academic Writing, Real World Topics, and I approach various worldly topics from different. I let the students read about very controversial contemporary issues, but I make them look at all these topics from multiple perspectives, so that people I'm not indoctrinating anybody. I'm not trying to inculcate some particular ideology.
Was that always that way?
That's always been the way I've taught. I don't believe the classroom should ever be a site of indoctrination.
Okay.
And I've differed with people, colleagues of my own, and other friends who are also professors and leftists who were, they were trying to drive somebody to Marxist feminist, and that's just how they worked. Their syllabus were stacked that way.
Best professor you could have is one that you might think for half the class he's this.
That's right.
And then the other half, he's arguing the exact opposite, and you have no idea where they stand.
That's what I do. I embody different positions, rather believably.
Right.
So that's been my approach. But when it comes to my own change, it came basically from the terrible run-in I had with the left, and I thought the utopian and the egalitarian veneer of leftists really is very thin. And when you scratch it a bit, underneath of that, I found totalitarians.
Yeah.
And that's what scared the heck out of me. And that really is what caused my political conversion.
I've had a daughter of one of the communists that was arrested during the communist trials from Hollywood.
Yeah.
Come to me. She still says, you'd call me a communist, Glenn. In my family, I'm called a conservative.
Yeah. Right.
But we've had several conversations, and she and her friends are more afraid right now of what's happening on the campuses and the left than they are on the right. And they're really concerned about the right.
I said this from the beginning when Trump got into office, or before he got into office even. Oh, I guess it was after, when they founded the resistance. I said the resistance would be far worse than Trump. And I think that's been the case. I mean, the resistance is really unhinged, and it's fueled by all kinds of ideological error, I think, and it's fueled by a conviction, an absolute conviction of total moral certainty. And that's what's scary. Yeah. When people believe they're absolutely morally superior and certain, and they're absolutely right, they become like Antifa.
Well, it is why totalitarianism always ends in massive death,
bloodshed.
Because if you get to a point, I've asked this question from the left and the right.
Yeah.
Just let's imagine tomorrow you have your way. And everybody you've elected is in, and you still have 50% of the country that doesn't agree with you.
That's right.
What are you going to do with them?
Well, even, most Marxists won't admit this, but Marx himself said you have to kill them. There has to be a terror. And they got this idea of the terror from, of course, the French Revolution and the aftermath. They said that that is the model. After a revolution, you must go on a terror spree. You must get rid of ideological opponents, and you must get rid of the bourgeoisie. if they cling to their bourgeoisie character. Otherwise, if they're willing to convert, then fine. But people are killed for having the wrong thoughts. That's basically what it comes down to.